Hello and welcome to our round 5 around Hungary in the beautiful Hungaroring. I can talk today. Hello and welcome to Red Dragon Racing League here as we are underway with qualifying. As you can see, all the people starting to get themselves out on track, hoping to put themselves on a nice quick start to this Qaliy that we have going on. So we will get kind of underway as a lot of guys are going to be coming out on their first set of tires, so they're going to be kind of feeling it out, getting a good, burn into the track, make sure everyone can feel what they need, and get all set up as best they can. And while they do that, we are going to quickly go over our Drivers' Championships here. So if we take a very quick look here, we will have that pulled up for you. So with our driver standings, in first place, we have Andy, followed by Cam Tizzle, Matt Jacko having moved up to third, Knick-Knack Paddywhack, Electric Blade, Ketchin AWFK in sixth, Gasboy in seventh, Lucifer in eighth, Racer X in 9th, Wolfsburg Tuner in 10th, King C. Dot has moved up to 11th, the Johnny Damon has dropped down to 12th, Strozzi in 13th, Beamer Blunt in 14th, Osmanian Devil in 15th, Slayerized in 16th, OnlyFans Free in 17th, Coda Go Hard in 18th, Lucky Charms in 19th, and Bolanger in 20th. And then moving over to our constructors standings here as well. So as you can see, Aston Martin holding on to first place. We have Williams in second, McLaren moving up into third position, Red Bull in fourth. We have Ferrari in fifth, Alpine in sixth, Alfa Romeo seventh, Haas in eighth, Mercedes in ninth, and Alpha Tauri in 10th. Outside of that, we do have a couple of information aspects. So we did go with half points for last week. I know for those who were around, it was a little bit of a situation on track. So we did end up going for half points there. So they did get their points out to everybody. We'll also touch on whether we are expecting nothing but sun, a little bit of cloud for Qaliy, but bright and sunny for the rest of the race. No issues of rain, which is all fantastic, because no one wants rain unless you really want rain, which, I mean, makes for more interesting times here. As we can see, the Greasy Goose has got himself on the loose and into first place as the Johnny Damon, so you can see the Johnny Damon, and that was going to be our next discussion. So incident findings, unfortunately, the Johnny Damon does get a qualifying ban due to disconnecting while being the host. Rather unfortunate, but he is on his way, and it looks like Beamer Blunt has already left the session as well, or he's retired. I'm not sure what happened there, but rather unfortunate, I guess. As he will not get himself a time as of now. Not sure what happened. I'm sure we'll hear something soon, but we'll figure that one out. Outside of that, we do have a couple of drivers not in today, so we are going to be missing Coda Go Hard. He is going to be replaced today by MJ Braz. So he was the reserve driver last week. He will be slotted back in with the Mercedes there. He is currently in P2. Right there he is. Then the other one, unfortunately, he is unable to make it as well as Lucky Charms. So Alpha Tauri will only have their one driver on there today in Bolanger. So he'll be hoping to grab maximum points that he can. So just those two. Outside of that, everything else will be very much the same, as we will continue with our fantastic field here. As we can see, MJ Braz looks like he is unfortunately invalidated, and that'll also be an invalidation with Knick-Knack Paddywhack, as we hopped on board with him. Ketchin going around, he is going to be on his way to the final couple turns here, as he is making his way through the last little hairpin and through turn 14, as he is, though, unfortunately headed into the pits. DRL Racer has gotten himself onto provisional pole after a 1:17.212. Fantastic first kind of laps for them. As we see Osmanian Devil here, he has made his way, though it looks like he might be slowing down a little bit. I think he has just on his cooldown lap, it looks like. In lap. King Cedar, it looks like he is now on his flying lap as he heads his way down to turn 2. That quick little almost roundabout hairpin before getting into this little bit of into turn 4, I guess. Unfortunately, he is also invalidated. All right, so we'll hop on board with Electric Blade now. As there are 14 corners, he did set up purple sector 1 here as he makes his way through turn 5 on his way to this little quick chicane of turn 6 and 7. Down towards turn 8, coming out of turn 9. Into turn 10, 11. Then you'll have 12, 13, and 14 to finish it off. So he makes this little bit of a straightaway here where that DRS detection zone will be right around this next corner here as he gets his way through turn 13. And let's see if he is going to... Yeah, he's staying out, so this is going to be his first lap as he tries to get a quick one in here. DRS is going to open up. He's going to come through. It looks like he has got himself into P4, the 117.261. So as of right now, after the sort of more or less the first kind of grouping of fast laps, you've got Racer X in provisional pole with the Greasy Goose, MJ Bras, Electric Blade, Knick-Knack, Paddywhack, Guest Boy, Jacko, Ketchin, Andy, Cam Tizzle, Osmanian Devil, as then I, started too early. Slayer Eyes has gotten through and set himself up on pole with a 116.837. What a very fast lap out of him. As we have Hayden on his first real fast lap. He is one of those ones he likes to burn off an extra set of tires before every race. Looks like we do have OnlyFans Free making his way through as he comes into the finish line here, crossing, getting himself up into P13. So we will stick with Hayden here as we're going to actually go for an on board with Hayden as he will be... who's that one whipping by him? Looks like Cam Tizzle. I think Cam Tizzle might be on his a quick out lap here. Or sorry, quick flying lap. But hope everybody is having a fantastic day. Appreciate everyone for coming on by. Feel free to give the video a thumbs up if you're enjoying yourself, as it does help with algorithms and all that fun stuff, so we can get some more people checking out some fun and fast racing. And I just realized it says round 4, not round 5, but this is round 5. And we will actually quickly... Cam Tizzle gets himself actually fantastic little drive there, gets himself into P2. So we're going to hop on with Hayden here as we'll do a nice onboard as he makes his way down the front stretch. Heading his way onto the fun little hairpin that makes turn 1 just that much more fun to start a race. On his way kind of through this little bit of a drag into turn 2. Coming out a little full speed, flat out turn 3. Before making his way to a little bit of a kink again. Little lift, but then right back on the throttle. A little bit of a snap of oversteer there, so he gets back on. As he goes around this fun little roundabout before a hard brake into this chicane here. Avoiding those 2 sausage curves, taking out the brake board, as he unfortunately invalidates right there. So while he has invalidated, we will quickly pull up the calendar here. As you can see, we are in Hungary for round 5. Next week, for round 6, we will be in Monza, which we all know is fast, quick, and a lot of fun. If you don't like Monza, I don't know what to tell you. Monza's just a blast. But we will be there for next week, April 30th. if, for everyone to come by and hang out and enjoy. As Slayerized is, Andy has now said, I was just about to say, Slayerized still holding on to that front spot, or top spot, but nope, not anymore. He is now into P2. As Andy sets a new fastest lap of 1:16.692. It's a very fast lap out of him. It looks like King C-Dot just having himself some time trying to get himself a true one, although this might be his first get himself up, and he does get himself into P5, so he gets, was getting a little concerning as he hadn't set a time yet. But Hayden, it looks like he is going to be back on his way for his fast lap here. Let's see if he's able to hold it. He's on a little fuel here. So that might actually work out in his favor if he does not run out of fuel. Into this little chicane here. Before heading around this little bit of a easy corner before a little bit of a take a gear down, get back on the throttle, back up to 7th. A little bit of a hard brake as you get to this kind of hard right. And then into the first kind of hairpin. This one is flat before you get back on the throttle, get all the way to the left side, back off again as you kind of have an uphill hairpin sort of idea before back on the throttle, pop open that DRS, make his way through, and he gets himself into P3. And we can see Slayerized as he makes his way down towards turn 4, as he has set a purple sector 1. Comes around turn 5 here before heading into the chicane of 6 and 7. Ooh, a little bit of an oversteer there. That's going to pull his time back a little bit, and not sure if he's going to, yeah, he's going to back off on this one here. So, rather unfortunate. That was looking like a pretty good lap out of him. And we can see Electric Blade having just come through. He's got himself into P6. As King Steel is going in, and we are on with Ketchin. So it looks like he has also just actually wrapped up, as he is now out. Oh, and we have Racer. There we go. Alright, Racer's got himself an ERS, full ERS, so he is going to be pushing quite hard here. So we'll stick on board with the other Ferrari. Hayden and Racer, the two Ferrari drivers. Makes his way up to turn 4. It's kind of quick lift and go, and then into the little hairpin where you sort of stick 3, then hop to 4, all the way through, braking about 50, down to 3 for 6 and 7, get back on the throttle, a little bit of a lift and hold coast there before kind of doing your little weaves, for a little bit of a brake there. And then a heavy braking zone coming into here for the hard right. He has set a purple sector 2, so he's having quite a fast lap here, which is fantastic. For this first little hairpin, you want a good exit from here because you have to get right back on the throttle to get it back across, to get right back on the brakes. And you want to make sure you get a good exit from here, as he does perfectly through there. Throws on the DRS, gets through, and gets himself up to P5. Stays in P5, sorry. The 1:16, so some faster times. Everybody's running about 1:16 to 1:17, a couple of 1:18s, but what can you do with those guys? So we will, that's unfortunately, as soon as I hop on with OnlyFans Free, he does go into the grass here, but that's, I think this is his out lap. So actually, you know, we'll stay with, on board with the Haas driver. As Gasboy actually gets himself up into P2 as well now. So the current top 3 are Andy, Gasboy, and Slayerized. Alfa Romeo looking pretty good. Ooh, he managed to keep it out of the wall though. That's good. He's got a lot of time behind him, so let's see if he's able to kind of make this work. Nice. He does keep it clean, and that's going to be rather unfortunate. Not sure if that's if he's going to try and pull that into a new lap here, as we have Osmanian Devil working his way through this first sort of section as he comes into sector 2. He makes his way down turn 5 in that Alpine. Hey Andy, how's it going, buddy? Pretty good first lap out of you there, big guy. and then through 8 and 9 before getting over to turn 10, then turn 11 for this little bit of a right before getting on the very hard right here. As Jacko has now taken P1 with a 116.685. Ooh, that just kept it on. As MJ Braz has unfortunately got himself... He is retired from the session, so not sure what happened, but a little bit of a rough time for him there. As Osmanian Devil will stay in 14th. Hello, hello. So yeah, we see MJ Bros has unfortunately gone out, so we will hop on board with Andy, because now he's going to be chasing down that P1 here. Ooh, almost got a little snap of oversteer. It's down. Interesting, goes through there at P5, there you go. We're heading around for turn 11. And then this hard... Oh, it looks like he actually isn't even started yet. This is still his outlap. Interesting. Okay. He's hoping to see Jacko kind of get out of the way, as he's going to give a little bit of space. Jacko's going to go into the pits, and so he's going to get himself a nice, clean exit. And no one in front of him, so he's got nothing but clean air. So we're going to stick with the Aston Martin here, as he's going to make his next attempt here. Hopping almost 300, just over 300 kilometers an hour. Coming into turn 1 through there. Gets the DRS open as he makes his way all the way down this weird little straightaway before the quick downhill of turn 2. And then another downhill turn, but this one is flat out as you go into turn 3. So he will have his last kind of lap here, as we will also have Cam Tizzle. It looks like Cam Tizzle is a little bit behind, and unfortunately he had a little bit of a mess up, so he is done. But we do have Electric Blade, he having just finished. We have Slayerized on his flying lap. We'll have Hayden on his. He is just at a purple sector 2 as well. Ketchin also on his last lap here, as we have Knick Knack Paddywhack just behind Andy and ahead of Slayerized. And let's see how his... Hayden's going to come through and get himself into P1. Next we will have Andy finishing up here. Gonna be close. Gonna be close. As Andy does just sneak into P1, as Cam Tizzle unfortunately won't. Slayer has just went into the pits. Ketchin coming around the last corner here. As like Knick Knack Paddywhack has got himself into P2 as well. Ketchin unfortunately stayed in P11. As we, yeah, Cam Tizzle is just kind of doing his own thing here. And he is going to retire from the session. Alright, so, as you can see, a very fast group. It's going to be a very interesting race. Lots of chaos. Who doesn't love chaos? Alright, so we will be starting with Andy on at P1, Knick Knack Paddywhack in 2nd, Hayden in 3rd, Jacko in 4th, Cam Tizzle in 5th, Electric Blade in 6th, Gasboy in 7th, Slayerized in 8th, DRL Racer X in 9th, King C. Dot in 10th, Ketchin in 11th, Greasy Goose in 12th, MJ Braz in 13th, Osmanian Devil 14th, Bowlinger in 15th, Wolfsburg Tuner in 16th, OnlyFans Free in 17th, the Johnny Damon in 18th, and MMR Beamer Blunt in 19th. And that is how we will be starting for today. Which will be a very, very fun race. Lots of speed happening. It looks like Beamer Blunt just had himself a very unfortunate incident. That phone, man, gets you every time. Fantastic. Yeah, that was a great lap, Andy. Very, very good lap. All right, now as we stare at the wonderful, I don't even know what to call it, I guess, pit lane crew that just stands there like zombies for a bit, we'll quickly touch on our calendar again for anyone who has not seen it. So we will be in Italy, in Monza, for next weekend, April 30th, and then we head to Singapore for a nice Singapore sling, before we head to France in the United Kingdom for Silverstone, Italy in Imola, Canada, and then Saudi Arabia for a nice fast street circuit in Jeddah, which I'm excited about. To be fair, round 11 I'm more excited about because it's me home. And it's a great one to do. So yeah, so everyone, I think they get about 30 seconds to kind of finish up with any last second adjustments they need to make. Oop, didn't need to turn that back on. Any last second adjustments they need to make so they are able to get everything organized, get everything right, tweak their wings and things like that before we get underway here. For those of you who have showed up in chat, hello, welcome, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate y'all. Hopefully you're enjoying everything going on, having yourselves a good one. I'm going to quickly, I have a second. Save that. And there we go. So it should say round 5 now. Yeah, there we go. Round 5 around Hungary. As we are just about all underway here. Not gonna lie, this is it's a favorite of mine. I like this track a lot. Last time I drove it though, I got myself beached on a curb and could not get off. Who would have guessed that was a thing around the Hungaroring? It was actually coming out of, I believe, it was coming out of turn 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, or sorry, turn 5. Coming out of that little area there. Not fun. But what can you do? Good times though. Got myself a little stuck. Cam Chisel should be interesting. Andy wins though. All right, well, there you guys have it. Andy is winning this one. It's nothing more you can ask for. There's nothing else. No chances. Everybody else just gonna accept it. I don't know. I think Cam Tizzle's got an outside shot. So anyone who says differently, we'll have a conversation. See who thinks they got this one right. As we can see, as the formation lap is underway, we are going to quickly look at the predicted pit stop strategies. So medium hards, hard mediums, either or if you're doing 2 stops, it is soft medium medium. So we're on the tire there. We'll throw that guy up there. All right, as we finish this guy up, so most people are going to be on medium hard, so it looks like everybody's going to be trying to pull a 1-stop strategy, which makes a lot of sense. It's not exactly a track known super greatly for its, I'd say, wear and tear on your tires there. Oh, my knee. I'm a bake. But, yeah. Good times. And around here, I believe it's about a 21 to 22 seconds that you will end up losing on a pit stop if it all goes smooth. So a lot of information will have to be kind of dissected if you think on how you're going to go. And unfortunately for Gasboy, he does get disqualified, as does Bolinger, as does Ketchin. And the downside of that is you lose all warmth you put into those tires. Rather unfortunate, because you need warm tires to make those turns. As you can see, everybody is underway. The lights are starting. We have 4, we have 5. They are out, and we are off. And it looks clean so far with no problems to start this one, as everybody's kind of shifting around, trying to find some easy space. As we make our way down into turn 1, this is quite a tight little hairpin, so hopefully nothing goes wrong. And it looks like everybody is a little bit wide there, but everything is still going. Everybody's still moving forwards. And it looks like we actually managed to make our way through there, as Jacko has managed to get past Cam Tizzle. Cam Tizzle not giving up a space. A little bit of a bump there, as Mad Jacko is able to make that one stick, but a little dicey going through there. As we are definitely going to keep an eye on Andy and Knick-Knack Paddywhack. And Knick-Knack Paddywhack trying to make his way around Andy here very early on as he goes up the inside, coming into the little chicane here. As Andy is going to be forced to go wide off there, and he is going to have to most likely give that space back. As yes, there he will allow Knick-Knack Paddywhack to go back ahead, and so Knick-Knack will definitely be leading this one, as he is on that faster tire as well, with Andy being on the hards, everyone around him sort of on those mediums, so it will be very interesting to see how this kind of plays out, as it looks like Hayden and Cam Tizzle now dueling it out to see who can kind of get into the inside lane and hold this, as Hayden does make his way around and in ahead for a second before Cam Tizzle makes his way back in front. Downside for Hayden is he also does have Gasboy right behind him as he is trying to make a move there as well, as Knick-Knack has set himself the fastest lap with the 126. Ethan Warren, go Williams, boys. Yes, we have Electric Blade here. As you can see him in third place as of current, and then Cam Tizzle dealing it out with Hayden down in sixth. This little, so Electric Blade is definitely putting some pressure on Andy, and that is that medium tire compound, as he's able to get a little bit more speed out of them to start. The downside obviously going to be they will burn a little faster than those hard tires will, so he'll probably have to pit a little sooner, and it's going to be who is able to make that pit stop stick, keep that space that they have going into and out of that pit lane. We've started to get a little bit more spread out. We do have Cam Tizzle starting to put a little bit of pressure on Hayden ahead of him here, as Knick-Knack Paddywhack has now opened himself up a 1.1 second lead, so he will no longer have to worry about being under threat of DRS once that gets activated. I believe it's at the end of this lap. Maybe might be at the end of next lap. As Cam Tizzle now has Gasboy right behind him. Hayden is really trying to focus on what's going on ahead of him, while at the same time not letting himself get taken back. Knick-Knack sets a new fast lap with a 1:25.06. As we can see, the Osmanian Devil having a little bit of trouble back here, as he has gotten himself into a set of new tires. Same with the Greasy Goose, both having pit after that last second lap there, so they are a little further back, rather unfortunately. Tap back in here, as Electric Blade is really starting to put a little more pressure on Andy here as they come through into turn 4 and then into turn 5. King Sea-Doc joining in with that little group, chasing down Hayden here, as Jacko is also right behind Electric Blade now. A little bit of a gap behind them to Hayden, as he is kind of dueling to sort of just keep his space. He is also going to be on those hard tires, whereas Cam Tizzle, Gasboy, King Sea-Dot, MJ Bras, and DRL Racer X all kind of right behind them on those faster mediums. So we can see Racer X trying to make a move and get past MJ Bras to kind of get a little bit closer, as he does have Ketchin sort of looking down on him here. It is a fairly tough track to sort of get a good pass on, because you don't really get a very many long straightaways, and what straightaways you do get that are fairly long are still fairly narrow. And of course, with its sort of train we got going on, as Electric Blade does finally get past Andy, and he will now also have to worry about Jacko behind him. Electric Blade has a little bit of time to make up to catch up to Knick-Knack Paddywhack, because he's kind of free and clear a little bit in his own space. You can see Andy getting put a little bit of pressure, and we can see Racer really starting to take a look to that inside there, as there decides against it, coming into this little fast corner before heading up to turn 5. It's a Greasy Goose. It's the fastest lap at the back there, the 1:22.98. See Electric Blade starting to reel in Knick-Knack Paddywhack. a little bit as well as Wolfsburg Tuner trying to get himself a little more involved here. He is going after Beamer Blunt. Beamer Blunt, having started in P18, P19 has already got himself off. And oh no, unfortunately, the Greasy Goose, or not the Greasy Goose, Gas Boy has himself a little bit of an incident. As we will quickly try and catch up. And it looks like he just got loose coming out of, I believe that is turn 11. Sent himself into the wall. Not sure if he got pushed off or anything like that, but we will have our first safety car of the evening. As Knick Knack Paddywhack is going to not be super stoked, but if you're Osmanian Devil and Greasy Goose, you're going to be very happy about that, as that's going to allow you guys to catch back up to the back of the field here. Knick Knack Paddywhack had gotten himself a nice little lead. Ah, yes, the Goosey Gang is back in chat. Nothing like the Goosey Gang. As we see, Osmanian Devil has headed himself into the pits. I'm guessing he's going to be throwing on a set of hard tires there, and yes, he is. As he will head on out and allow the Greasy Goose to get himself back up a spot into P17. A little bit of time before he has to, get caught back up, but we should have at least another lap, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. And we'll see what the Goose is able to make himself do. As we are making our way through our second lap under safety car. And it looks like the Greasy Goose has caught back up. We're just waiting for Osmanian Devil to catch in. And this might be the last lap of a safety car. We'll stay on board. We'll hop on with Knick Knack. His little Christmas ornament helmet there. As we make our way through, and we should be able to see when that lights go out. So, for anybody who is very curious, the current Grand Prix circuit, the fastest race lap currently held is a 1:16.627 by Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, did that in 2020 in the well-known Mercedes W11. But they also drive quite a few other races around the Hungaroring, so if you're ever curious, there are currently Formula 1, TCR World Tour, European Truck Racing Championship, International GT Open, as it looks like our safety car will be coming in this lap, so we will start getting going here, as Knick Knack Paddywhack will become our safety car, air quotes around that. But they also do International GT Open, FREC, European Open, and the TCR Europe. The more you know. So we make our way through the second last kind of hairpin sort of style. So he will really start to bunch up the field here so he can get himself a nice clean exit as this. As he tries to warm up the tires, warm up the brakes. A really aggressive exit here as he is gone underway, and we are back racing under that green light. And green light, I mean green flag. They've opened up a pretty big gap, himself and Electric Blade, as there's already a second gap between them and Andy, as Andy is going to be passed by Jacko. As Jacko gets on the inside, Andy having to go a little bit wide. He is able to fight off Jacko, as Jacko had to put a little more effort into that braking, giving Hayden a little bit of a chance to be able to get by him, as he is now putting Jacko under some pressure here as well. You can see Jacko trying to do what he can to sort of catch back up, as we do have a yellow flag in Sector 1, as it looks like OnlyFans Free gets himself a little squirrely coming out, but he looks like he has all his wings. He is pointed forward, so we are good to keep continuing, as Jacko is starting to try and close that gap to Andy. Andy is now well out of DRS range on those little bit harder tire compound, a little colder, a little harder to warm up. We can see Electric Blade trying to just continue to hold on to Knick Knack Paddywhack, stay in that DRS range for when that gets activated. That should be fairly shortly here. Say about another lap. It's Jacko trying to reel in, of course, on these very slow corners. It's hard to make a lot of space, gain any real ground there. And coming in, he will have a little bit of a slipstream. No DRS still activated, as he is going real quick, burning that ERS as he gets to the inside of Andy, and he does get around the corner ahead of him. Andy going a little bit wider, but Jacko able to hold on, as Andy is trying to make a fight back, but he is going to slot in right behind Jacko there, as Jacko has successfully made that move and closed the gap a little bit. Now he's going to pull away from Andy fairly quickly, as we will watch Hayden now, so this will be the true test to see who's got those better hard tires, as both of them will be fighting on a similar compound, unlike Jacko, Electric Blade, and Knick Knack Paddywhack. There is that 2-second gap behind Jacko there, as we do get another yellow flag, and it looks like Slayerized having himself a little bit of a moment as he has spun off track, lost his front wing. He's going to pull a quick U-turn and get back on the track and try and head his way into the pits to get himself a new front wing. In comparison to F1 2021, you can actually sort of drive without a front wing in this one compared to last year, largely due to the downforce nature of these cars, compared to last year's downforce being caused by pretty much entirely the wing. So if you lost it, you were screwed, as it looks like we do have a VSC now. So there's no safety car on the track. We are going to have a VSC, as it looks like Knick Knack Paddywhack and Electric Blade both coming into pit, trying to gain as much of an advantage as they can on the fact that they are going to have a cheap pit stop here. And it looks like they will probably both go onto hard tires there, as yes they do, as we will hop back up at the front with Mad Jacko. As it looks like, yes, we just have, I believe, a VSC. I haven't seen a safety card also. Trying to take advantage of that VSC. There it is, yep. So lose a little less time. I believe it's... Oh, and Knick Knack Paddywhack gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC, and that is going to hurt his ability there, as Hayden gets a 3-second warning for cutting the track, as we are back under green. That's going to hurt Hayden a little bit there, as he is really pushing, trying to catch Andy there and keep Cam Tizzle behind him. But unfortunately, that 3-second penalty is going to be something he is going to have to deal with now, and he's going to really have to fight to open a gap. Having gone hard mediums, he might be able to do it, but we will see, as Andy is starting to put a little bit of pressure on Jacko here. You can see Jacko wanting to push these. Downside for Knick Knack Paddywhack and Electric Blade as well. They have gone onto hard tires, and they should get all the way through. They're going to be straining those hard tires pretty hard. That's quite a few laps, especially when the wear isn't... I mean, the wear's not too bad, thankfully, but could be a little spicy trying to get that wear dialed all the way in. As we make our way through into turn 1. DRS is going to be open, as, yeah, Jacko, unfortunately, he's going to be really relying on those mediums to try and fight the DRS that Andy will be getting fairly consistently here. As we can see, Racer trying to catch up to Andy's teammate Ketchin, that Aston Martin. He's all over that Aston. Bollinger gets himself a 3-second time penalty as well. It looks like the Greasy Goose had a little bit of an incident, as he has lost his front wing as well. So he is thankfully still pointing straight. But rather unfortunate is, yeah, he's going to have a little bit of trouble. So you can still drive. It is not nearly the same as if you have your front wing, though. As you can see, Jacob holding onto that lead. Wolfsburg Tuner also trying to get himself up onto Beamer Blunt, getting nice and close as they make their way into that hard right of turn 12 before turn 13. Is he going to try and go up the inside? He's takes a look, but he's not able to kind of make that one go, as he's going to push back, try and go around the outside a little bit, keep a little outside line so he gets a little more speed coming around that corner as he cuts to the inside. He's going to get that DRS. He is going to slipstream as best he can. And it looks like with Beamer Blunt taking that inside line, which is going to make it a little tougher for Wolfsburg to get around him on that outside. He does get DRS again, heading into turn 2. Is unable to make that pass. He's going to keep on pushing. It looks like a Red Bull, as Knick-Knack Paddywhack has made his way ahead of Bolanger there. As Slayer Eyes will get a fastest lap of a 1:22.13. As you can see, Wolfsburg Tuner there trying to take that inside lap, but he does end up hitting that sausage curve, sends him for a little bit, slows him down, and it kind of allows Knick-Knack Paddywhack to get right up on his rear diffuser. So this is going to be a tight little group of working through here. They make their way past turn 11 on their way to turn 12 as Wolfsburg Tuner trying to kind of cut off that inside, but unfortunately for him, Knick-Knack makes a move and kind of switches back on him, gets ahead of him going into turn 13 before heading down to turn 14. Nice little move by Knick-Knack Paddywhack there, as he unfortunately is going into the pits. I'm not sure what happened, but he is going to head into the pits. He's going to serve his drive-through. That's right, he did have his drive-through penalty, so unfortunately he's going to serve that guy. That will drop him fairly back. He might be able to come out in front of his teammate. Nope, he is not going to come out in front of his teammate. He will come out in front of OnlyFans Free here, though, and end up in 15th. MJ Bros getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Oh no, unfortunately, Wolfsburg Tuner does clip and goes for a little 360, but he manages to kind of keep it going. Not lose too much space. He is going to drop back a little bit there, as it looks like we have the Greasy Goose off the side of the track as he went a little wide, ended up getting himself a little bit spun, and he's now kind of stuck trying to keep out of the way of everybody else. He does a great job, but gets himself back going again, so fantastic for him for not causing any problems there. But he is going to drop back, and I believe that will now be him a lap down. Rather unfortunately, as we can see, Beamer Blunt getting passed by Electric Blade behind him. He'll quickly hop down as they are going to be dueling this one out now. Knick-Knack Paddywhack will get himself a 3. Just served his penalty, and now he gets a 3-second time penalty. Rather unfortunately. The Greasy Goose has retired from the session. Did he retire in the pit lane, though? So that will not cause any problems. So unfortunate day for the Greasy Goose as he manages to just slide out of the race and ruined his day. Rather unfortunate, but we continue as we can see Beamer Blunt trying to put a little bit of pressure on Electric Blade there. It is weirdly showing that the Greasy Goose is still on track. He did retire. We did see that pop up, so I'm not sure what's going on, if it's just trying to find a spot for him to pull over. I can fully defend that one, as it did say he retired, so I'm not sure what his AI was doing there, why it came back out of the pits, or what it was doing, but alright, he is gone now, so we are good there, as Andy is really starting to make... Those tires have definitely heated up, they're definitely got their wear in, and they are putting a lot more emphasis there, as Ketchen has made his way back up, as MJ Baraz has now gone into the pits. We can see Andy under threat from Hayden, but Hayden obviously having that 3-second time penalty is going to come into effect. They are coming through into turns 6 and 7 here. We're heading into turn 10 and then 11, as we'll see, because this is going to be pretty important straightaway, as it looks like we have Hayden going a little bit wide coming out of turn 11 there. He is able to get it, and Osmanian Devil is going to get himself a 3-second time penalty as well, and as we can tell, unfortunately a lot of penalties going on. Andy is going to set a 120.9, sorry. As Hayden looks, takes a quick look on the inside and decides, maybe not this one. See, Knickknack, he is starting to put a little bit of pressure on the Osmanian Devil as well. Takes a look to the inside, gets a little snap of oversteer there, gets a little slidey on the back end, as Osmanian Devil is able to hold on to that spot, but of course, this is going to be DRS open. Osmanian Devil is going to try and put up a little bit of a fight, but Knickknack Paddywhack is going to get that inside line. He's going to get around this corner. It does send Osmanian Devil a little bit wide, and Knickknack is going to get himself up a position into P14. We hop back with this front little sector here. Jacko kind of leads this group here as we have an incident in Sector 1. It looks like OnlyFans Free getting himself a little twisted. Basically, that front wing's still stuck on there. As we come through now, if I'm Jacko, I'm hoping for a safety car here, but also kind of have to start thinking about getting onto the next set of tires. Jacko, yeah, he's coming up on 15-lap-old mediums here with Andy. It looks like Hayden has a DNF. Unsure of what happened, but rather unfortunate. As you can see, he looks like he got a little squirrely coming out of turn 3 there. Got himself into the wall, and that is going to be the end for the Ferrari driver of Hayden. As we will get a safety car, which is right exactly what Jacko was going to want here. Now, if you're Andy, you kind of have to make a choice. Same with Ketchin there, as they are the front-running group on those hard tires that have not pit yet. Beamer Blunt also will obviously have a few decisions to make as well. But having been on those hards, do you go to softs now or mediums now? If you're Jacko, you're for sure coming in right now, because you want to get that sort of saved pit stop and sacrifice a little bit of your positioning, as it looks like, yep, we will have pretty much a fast dash to try and get into the pits here. And it will all come down to who's going to have the fastest pit stop. Looks like Jacko has a very clean one. Cam Tizzle gets in. He is going to have, that was a nice double stack by the Aston Martins there, as they come out pretty much the same way they go in, except Electroblade is going to get himself up into P3 here, as we are going to have the Williams duo right next to each other to start this race again. Restart this. And poor Knickknack Paddywhack, he is not having a good time, as he gets himself another penalty, another couple penalties. You get a speeding under the pit, or under the safety car, and then gets himself a 5-second speeding in the pit lane. will let the field pack back up. As we can see, Jacko is going to get himself a front section here. Nice front view of this restart. That nice Aston Martin in the front section here. Sorry, through Sector 3. For the most part, everybody's going to be on fairly new tires. Now, Electric Blade electing to stay on his hards, as is the Osmanian Devil. Now, Electric Blade, his are 8-lap-old hards, and those probably will get him fairly close to the end. You might notice a little bit of sketchiness near the end, but those should be pretty close. It'll be very fun to watch how this one ends up playing out. As this last stint, unless there's another safety car, should be pretty interesting. Osmanian Devil has, yeah, 13 laps. OnlyFans free on those 17-lap-old hards. That one's going to be pretty interesting here. As I'm sure he's going to kind of decide whether he wants to come back in or not. But he will more than likely kind of do that at a little bit later time frame. As I believe, let's see, everyone is all bunched up, so lights could come out this lap here. Let's hop up, and yeah, there it is. So safety car will be in this lap, so Jacko is going to become your safety car here for the next 3 corners. As he's going to try and heat up that tire as best he can, or heat up those tires as best he can. Where he gets his way underway, and this should be pretty close to when he starts to go here. Oh, he is going to hold everybody, and then he's going to go there. Rather interesting tactic, as because of how late he went, guys kind of ready to go a little bit more, and he's not able to open as much of a gap, but we do have a little bit of a shift going on back here. As you can see, the 2 Mercedes going to be real close together as they are able to avoid any contact. You have MJ Bras trying to knock down the door there. And Bollinger making his way up, but losing out that spot to King Cdot, although he is able to kind of hold on to it. As they are dueling their way through, as he is going to have Knick-Knack right up behind him. And oh, that almost got a little spicy on there, as Knick-Knack is going to go up the inside, but he is not going to be able to get past Bollinger. King Cdot is going to get himself a penalty as well, as same with OnlyFans free, all around the same time. As we have the Johnny Damon now trying to get past Ketchin. Ketchin now on a pretty fresh set of mediums. So he should be able to pull away and kind of create some space there. But Beamer Blunt, he's on some brand new mediums, so he's going to be trying to catch MJ Bras as well here. As you see, the Red Bulls kind of pulling out, both of which going for that inside move as, ooh, they get a little close to each other. And the whole Red Bull collective, the 2 Red Bulls and the Alpha Tauri, sorry, all Red Bull owned. Getting a little close together there, but both Red Bulls are able to get through, able to keep it safe, and it looks like, ooh, Bollinger tries to make a move back. He is not giving up this place lightly, as he tries to fight through with King Cdot, as Wolfsburg Tuner is right behind them. Slayer Eyes trying to make a move up the inside on his, I believe that, yeah, on his teammate, as he is able to get ahead of him and get himself back underway here. We will hop on board, as you can see. Jacko coming through right here. There he is with Andy right behind him. And of course, Electric Blade right on his tail, as well as these front three have created a little bit of a gap towards Cam Tizzle behind them. Ketchin trying to catch him as well. It looks like we have a little bit of an incident with the Osmanian Devil, as he has lost his front wing. Managed to keep all 4 tires still intact, so he is going to continue forward, as it looks like. Also, Racer X has a little bit of an incident, and that's not going to be great, as his teammate is currently out, so he's going to be in charge of scoring as many points as he can for the team. That's not going to be the way to do it. As you can see, there's now a little bit of gap showing up between Andy and Cam Tizzle, with DRS now activating. So we will get DRS coming out of the hairpin here. So it looks like Knick Knack Paddywhack has himself a little bit of an incident. He is going into the pit lane once again for his other drive-through of the day. But thankfully for him, Osmanian Devil is also going into the pits for a whole other reason. And he will get himself, Osmanian Devil does get himself a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Rather unfortunate there as well. Ketchin now catching up to Cam Tizzle. As they come through this little bit of a section. Nice little quick high-speed corners here of this little S's area as he goes a little bit wide. Andy is now really starting to try and make a move. Looks like we have... Not sure. It looks like DX Racer had himself, or DRL Racer has himself a little bit of an incident back in the Sector 2. He's still trying to get himself back going, but he is good to go as we stay on board with Mad Jacko and Andy. As with that DRS now open, Andy's trying to close that gap. Looks onto the inside, but knows he's not going to be able to make that move, so he kind of tucks back in. I'm assuming he's going to hope he can get through as the DRS is back open for this. On his way down to turn 2. But he's not close enough to make anything happen there. He kind of backs off a little bit. Heading into this front section. Actually, we will hop down. Slayer is trying to get past King C. The Alfa Romeo trying to get to that that Red Bull car there. They come into turn 5. Very nice and close. You see Andy's dropped back just a little bit. See a little bit of a slower corner, so he had to back off just a touch. We do have Racer X coming in. He has retired, so that is both Ferraris out, which is rather unfortunate, but he does retire in the pits, so no safety car, no VSC or anything like that. As we come into turn 13 here. Sort of flat hairpin before heading to this little uphill hairpin. Andy is going to be looking to sort of try and make a move. We do have 17 laps to go. Sorry, I can math. 12 laps to go. Counting is my specialty. It's not. It's science. We'll just ignore my inability to count, as it looks like we have a car off. Not, or that was, oh, it was the Racer X as his AI went out for some reason. But unfortunately, Slayer Eyes looks like he has a little bit of an incident, but he is able to keep going. We're not hit, no, yeah. Slayer Eyes is able to keep going there. Wolfsburg Tuner back up ahead. A little bit of space kind of showing up there. We do have this little group of Electric Blade, Cam, Tizzle, and Ketchin. They make their way through turn 11 there. And he's starting to really try and put some pressure on him. I'm not sure. He might be holding up a little bit because there is a lot of race left here. He doesn't want to burn those tires out too quickly. Noah Pence gets himself another time penalty. Andy does get ahead, but Jacko is not going to give up on this one. And he will have the inside line coming into this. Stays it a little bit on the outside. He gets well ahead. Switch back from Jacko, but he is unable to get that and make it stick. So Bollinger does get himself a 5-second talent penalty, but Andy has made that move stick. Now he is going to be sort of under threat of Jacko, as there is that gap between them and Electric Blade of over 1.8 seconds now. Oh, 1.5 seconds now. So they don't have to worry about DRS from that back group. Honestly, Andy just takes off, and he is on that faster tire, so unfortunately for Jacko, it's going to be a lot harder for him to reel him in, especially when there's only two, I guess, real DRS zones. The second one's kind of short, as he is now out of DRS range, and that's going to be rather unfortunate for Jacko. Now his goal is going to be minimize the opportunities for the guys behind him, as Ketchin is also going to be trying to reel in Electric Blade. He is also on those soft, or the medium tires, which will make a little quicker for himself. Andy does set a fastest lap of a 1:19.213. Nick Paywak has come back out on some softs, and Ketchin does take a look to the inside there. Decides, nope, not worth it. We'll take a look. Nick is going to be making some moves, as he is going to start reeling in, open that DRS, as he's going to try and catch Wolfsburg Tuner, who is on hards. OnlyFans Free gets himself a little bit of a spin, sending himself around, as Jacko is just kind of in between as of current. You can see Ketchin and Cam Tizzle coming after each other, as Beamer Blunt gets himself a 3-second time penalty as well. Tuner gets himself a time penalty. As you can see, pretty much everybody outside of the top 6 has now at least some form of a time penalty going on. We make our way into 10 laps to go here. On lap 25. Just about to finish that guy up there. Ketchin tries to do what he can. Nick Paywak getting himself another time penalty as he gains the space on Wolfsburg Tuner. Down in P12, going up to P11. Ketchin really doing what he can to kind of stay in touch with Electric Blade. He's going to want to get past him fairly shortly, as they are starting to lose some time to Jacko behind them. There's now a 2-second time gap between Jacko and Electric Blade. Cam Tizzle, much the same. He's going to want to start trying to reel him in as best he can. Obviously, it's really kind of an odd spot for him, because he does also have those hard tires, as King C. Dot will get another penalty there. As this kind of race for third starts heating up. Coming out of, and we'll see what he's able to do. He's going to want to get nice and close coming through this kind of hairpin. Otherwise, he's not really going to be able to take advantage of the DRS nearly as much as he's going to want to. See, he's just way too far behind Electric Blade coming out of that final turn onto the big straightaway. Tries to go for a little bit of a late break, but that's just going to cause him to have to lose it again. As he gains again, that gap kind of opens up as King C. Dot does make his way past MMR Beamer Blunt. It's Beamer Blunt trying to sort of push back up as Nick Paywak gets past as he goes into the pits again. Unfortunately, it looks like Beamer Blunt has... King C. Dot, sorry, has made that pass stick here. Starting to pull away just a little bit. As we had catch back up with Cam Tizzle. As he is trying to reel in, and this is going to be a tough one for him, as he is very much on that harder compound, so he's not going to quite have the same speed. He's kind of Gonna hope that those mediums start to burn off a little bit for him. This is looking a little bit better from Ketchin. He's only a few tenths back, but I think he's going to be just a little too far behind, as he does get a little snap of oversteer coming out of that corner, out of turn 13, or turn 14, sorry. He's not going to be able to. It looks like Bolanger has a incident on the side here. He looks like he clipped a curb and sent himself around, and that is going to bring out the safety car once again. As we will have that happen, as let's see what happens. Beamer Blunt coming in. He needs a new front wing as well, as he unfortunately had a little bit of a mishap. He is going to go onto those soft tires. Now this is going to be a very interesting situation if you're that front group, because you did miss that first set of pit stops. Do you come in? There's 8 laps to go. Everyone's on some fairly old tires. Electric Blade is on 19 lap old hards. This is definitely the question we're going to have to be asking if you're any of those drivers. And how long you can think, how long you think you can keep pushing these tires before they're going to implode a little bit on you. As it looks like Andy will not be coming into the pits. Let's see, I'm curious about Electric Blade. That's the one that's 19 lap old hards, as it looks like, yep, he is going to come in. I'm assuming he's going to probably try and throw on a pair of softs, or a set of softs, not a pair. He's going to need more than just 2 tires. At least I assume so. Now we'll lose him a couple of spots, as it looks like he's going to drop down a little bit, but obviously with all those penalties, he's going to have a little bit of help. And he goes very wide, not really sure what just happened there, but okay. Did see the ghosted version of Osmanian Devil go by. Looks like they were unlapping there. Alright, so by the time this kind of ends, okay, so we see MJ Bras has gone into the pits. Ketchin has now popped himself up into P3. So it looks like Jacko, Ketchin, and Andy are going to stay out on these fairly old tires here, as well as Cam Tizzle, the Johnny Damon, and King C. Everyone else has gone in for the most part. Only fans free on some 7-lap old mediums, but nothing too bad. Trying to burn off a little bit of fuel, as you can hear that high revs. Looks, I think, maybe should be getting going fairly quick, as OnlyFans Free is going to be catching up rather shortly here. So let's see if the lights will be out here. It looks like as they take off. Nope, we are going to have one more lap, and then we will be underway for the final 3 laps here. Or final 5 laps, sorry. Where we get ourselves back underway and back doing what we all enjoy. Very fast cars going very fast. So we'll have about 4 laps coming through at the end of this. And everybody is all caught up now, so yes, we should be going green under after this last lap here. Anybody in chat that wants to discuss who do you think driver of the day is? Safety car will be coming in this lap. We will have Andy be our new safety car, as he will start to really warm up those tires. That's zigging and zagging all across the track here. He tries to put a little bit more heat in those tires, get everything good to go, and he will back up, get everybody nice and close so he's able to really utilize that launch to get himself as much space and as much time as he can. Off the restart here. And he is off, and we are back underway, back under green. As he gets himself a little bit of a jump here. Ketchin is going to be right on the outside of Jacko. Jacko's going to try and hold that inside line there as they make their way through. As he unfortunately sends him a little bit wide, as he's now under threat of Cam Tizzle right behind him, as Cam Tizzle has made his way just in front. Ketchin is going to fight his way back on with that inside line. He's going to be right away. Oh, a little bit of contact there. As Cam Tizzle is going to get himself a 3-second time penalty. As he is not only now fighting it out as they come through here. That was a little sketchy, but he does have Electric Blade right behind him on a set of softs, so that is going to be a problem for Jacko. Or not Jacko, sorry, Ketchin. Ketchin is now got to play big-time defense. Andy has taken off, and he's got himself out of DRS range for these last few laps here, as we are in our last 3 laps. We're going to have Ketchin, and we do have a lot of soft runners here in terms of tire options. There we go. Electric Blade obviously trying to really get on Ketchin's diffuser here, as we're going to be coming in. So he is right on him into this final corner of turn 14. They're going to come out. He's going to burn as much of that energy as he is going to be able to. Try and reel him in, but it looks like Ketchin is going to just have a little bit more speed. See, he's very close, though, unfortunately. Ketchin trying everything he can to try and fight it off. The Johnny Davis is going to get himself a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Not sure what happened as he loses a front wing. He's going to go onto those softs as well. We can see Electric Blade is less than a second back, but this is obviously not a spot where you can really utilize it. As he does go around, he loses his front wing, and he is going to spin out. Rather unfortunate, as that is probably going to be the end of Electric Blade, and it is, as he is DNF'd. And that is going to somehow not bring out any form of a safety car or even a VSC. That car is now not, I guess, not really on the track. It is just in the grass, but still interesting, I guess. As he's kind of pulled his way out of there. Tasmanian Devil does get himself another time penalty. As now Ketchen can focus on really trying to just go after, as we do have Cam Tizzle and King C-Dot. But King C-Dot now really there's 4 cars really pushing right behind him, all on mediums, as he is on those, or all on saucer as he is on those mediums. And he sets another fastest lap at a 1:18.981. We do have King C-Dot. He is Beamer Blunt pushing very hard here. There is no DRS rain yet, as King C-Dot takes that inside line away. Beamer Blunt tries to make his way through. Let's see. Looks like Slayerized and MJ Bras have a little bit of an incident. Puts them now very much out of the running here. Drops them down out of the points. Beamer Blunt really trying to get himself, as he is in a Red Bull sandwich. He does have Knick-Knack Paddywhack right behind him. Knick-Knack goes a little bit wide. Just going to leave a little bit of breathing room now for Beamer Blunt as they come into turns 6 and 7. He gets a little squirrely on the exit, and he's going to lose a little bit of time to King C-Dot. He's almost gotten himself out of DRS range, and he is now out of DRS range. We will see if he is able to continue that, as we will have the detection zone coming up fairly shortly. King C-Dot has started to reel in Cam Tizzle, who is on those old hard tires. King C-Dot obviously on a set of mediums, and he is in that DRS range. He is going to be a little further back, as our front 3 has opened a pretty solid gap now. As you can see on the back there, the Red Bull goes to the inside, comes right back, realizes he is not going to make that corner. Beamer Blunt starting to reel it back in, as well as now they've got this little group of 3 all starting to get close together as we are on our final lap. Guess we should actually bring that up. We can see who's all got what for penalties now. So if you're Beamer Blunt, you are going to get past King C-Dot, as long as you can stay within those 6 seconds. Wolfsburg Tuner might even actually be able to do it as well. You can see the front group is Ketchen is trying to catch Jacko here as we make our way through turn 13, on our way to turn 14. And Andy is going to take himself, once again, a win here in Hungary with a fantastic drive, as it will be Jacko and then Ketchen, followed by Cam Tizzle here, King C-Dot, and then our Blunt Wolfsburg Tuner Knick-Knack Paddywhack, as King C-Dot looks like, oh no, he's there. Not as his 9 seconds, that's right, that'll bump him down. Tasmanian Devil, the Slayerized, OnlyFans Free is going to be coming around right away here. MJ Bras with no front wing at all. So he will make his way through, and then we will see the Johnny Damon as he wraps it up, coming through turn 14, on his way through to the finish. Wrap up a wonderful day around the Hungaroring. And a fantastic drive had by all. And Beamer Blunt is going to get himself driver of the day, as he did have a fantastic one. Cam Tizzle felt like I got turned in, but whatever. We'll take a look. Sure. Make sure you save those replays. Make sure you keep that replay. Show it to the stewards. They will establish what's going on. I didn't quite see what happened, but definitely make sure you record those. Beamer Blunt P19 to P5. Fantastic day for him. A great win for Andy there as he is able to pull that one off. Great day for him. We will take a look as we do have, just wait, we'll pull in for now, Ketchin into the, oh, I should probably also, there we go. We'll pull Ketchin in here. Ketchin, how did that one feel for you?
I mean, it was pretty some really good racing there at the end. I'll say I was fighting from the back, and then things just kind of went my way, so I can't be angry with it.
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting time because you were sort of in the midfield for the most part, and then all of a sudden, that last sort of safety car, you ended up coming out in P3. So it seemed to have worked out for you.
Yeah, the skies just opened up once that safety car happened. Everybody wanted to pit to hards, and it's like, all right, perfect. Andy and I were a few of the medium runners there, so we just took advantage. I knew I had much lower wings than a lot of the other guys, and was able to stay close for the most part, sector 2, sector 3, and then just scoop them up on the pit wall straight there. So it was a fantastic last couple laps there, especially with Majako and Cam Tissel. Got a little squirrely at the last couple laps, but in the end, we got a podium out of it.
I was gonna say your medium tires were pretty old by the end. How were those guys feeling as you worked your way through?
Oh, if you were watching it all, they were getting a little squirrely there, especially coming out of turn 3, turn 4, and then the final straight or the penultimate corner was just disgusting. So a little long for my liking, but it ended up working out.
It's all you need, right? That win era.
Yes.
A podium's a podium, whether you
Yes,
do
sir.
it pretty or do it, a little differently. But no, that was
Yes,
fantastic. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before I let you go here?
I mean, definitely my teammate. He always helps me out, keeps me going, especially since I had a couple of warnings there. Couldn't lose the position due to a penalty, so he kept me straight. So I appreciate my teammate.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on the P3 there, and we will see you next week in Monza.
Perfect. Thanks, Sporticus. Appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good one.
You too.
All right, and we do have P2 here with Jacko. Jacko, how was that one feeling? It looked a little uncomfortable at moments, but you seem to pull it through. How was that for you?
Hey, yeah, it was a tough one. I think we got a pretty good understanding of how much better the medium is than the hard in both stints. So, yeah, basically when you're fighting a medium and you're on a hard, you got no chance. As soon as the DRS is available, turn 1, you can't really do much. So I think, from my perspective, I maximised it because Andy's just got that bit more raw speed and he had the right strategy after the last safety car. So second place, I'm happy with.
Yeah, it was very interesting because you definitely sort of held a runaway almost coming out of the first stint there, but once the kind of switch came, it looked like it was just battle on to try and do as much as you can. So, but yeah, I mean, it looked good. You had a fantastic race. Obviously, your teammate as well had himself a pretty solid day. I think he went 19 to 5th, so pretty good there.
Yeah.
How did you feel
Big
after
shout
that?
out to him.
Yeah, that was a fantastic drive out of him. How did you feel with that last safety car? Like timing wise, was it just unfortunate? Were you considering coming into pit, or was it just kind of a what Andy does, I'm doing?
That last safety car was, yeah, it was never really an option to pit because we would have come out. Oh man, he would have come out a bit further up, but I would have come out about 9th, assuming that everyone else did not. Obviously, we had 1 or 2 pits, such as Electric Blade, and it looked like that may have worked had he not had that issue in getting back to the podium.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, 4 green flag laps to make up how many positions you needed to get back to the spot we had. It was too risky to pit.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if everyone behind pit, then that would have been really a problem for Andy and I. But I thought it was unlikely, so it was basically just keep the points that I had. I was never going to pass Andy after that because he just had the tyre advantage. It was more about watching backwards to catch him, who seems to have a really good grasp on restarts. Let's put it that way. He always gets alongside. So I don't know if it's just he's anticipating it or either way, he's lightning reflexes. So that was tough to defend from. And I think we sort of got a bit interlocking wheels there. So I'm going to have a quick chat to him at some point to see what his POV on that was. But otherwise, it was a pretty good battle.
Yeah, I did see that. There was a little bit of a bump, but you were able to hold it forward and keep it going. So congratulations to you on that one. And we'll be in Monza for next week. So I guess, was there anyone you wanted to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I'll just reiterate my teammate. He's been incredibly unlucky in the opening rounds up until now, but finally to get a good point haul, it's what he deserves. I've known him for a while. He's a very good driver. So very happy for him to finally get a top 5.
Yeah, no, he had a fantastic day, and I will agree. Yes, he's had some rough days the last couple. I mean, even to start this one, I think it was in qualifying. His phone lit up. He looked at it and then looked back and saw a wall. So rather unfortunate, but he recovered well.
Absolutely. And
All
thank
right.
you to you for commentating once again.
Yeah, no worries. And yeah, so we'll see you next week in Monza. So have yourself a great rest of your day.
Thank you. See you next week.
Yeah. All right, and now we will bring in Andy, who ran away with it. Didn't seem really too under threat. A little sketchy in the first section, having been on those hard tires and all the mediums putting him under threat, but he managed to sort of deal with it. Andy, how was that one for you?
That one was felt both bad and good. Considering the tires, the hards in the first stint was pretty bad. I just felt like I was barely moving, but we managed to keep somewhat of a positions there, not lose too many to the medium runners, but the medium stint was really good. So we had some really good pace coming out there on the new mediums, and great race for both of us in Aston.
Yeah, I mean, a 1 in 3, that'll get you some solid points for the constructors for sure, and then keep your points going for the drivers. But it seems to be the consensus was the mediums was definitely the tire. Almost makes you wonder, do you think 2-stop with medium softs would have been kind of the better option, or the medium hard definitely the way to go?
It could have been the option, at least with the amount of safety cars and VSCs and stuff we got.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely it could have been a viable strat, no doubt. But I'm a very big fan of keeping track positions, and even if my tires can be over 50% and it's a late safety car, I would probably take track positions instead especially on a track like this, where it's very hard to overtake as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty dicey spot to try and track. It's a lot of turns, a lot of slow corners, but also not very wide. It's a very narrow track. So it does make it a little interesting. All right, well, I mean, hey, fantastic. Another win out of you, and another great showing for Aston Martin. Was there anyone you wanted to give a shout out to before we let you get going?
Yeah, amazing drive. Both Majako, who I was battling for plenty of laps, and Ketchen, of course, my teammate, for securing that double podium. Amazing drive. I think he gained about 10 positions or so, or 8 to 10 positions or so in the race from the quali. So props to both of them for that. Amazing racing.
Yeah, I think I believe he went from 11 to 3. So yeah, he had a very, very good showing. And then I think, Beamer Blunt going from 19 to 5. So we had a lot of big movers today for sure. So that was fantastic. But all right, I will let you get going, as we will see you next week in Monza.
Yeah, see you there.
Should be an interesting one. Lots of speed.
Hopefully.
I'm excited. Hopefully it doesn't rain, or hopefully it does. I think that'd be more entertaining.
That would have been interesting. I really enjoy rain, so hope for that.
Fair enough. All right, well, we'll see you next week, and have yourself a great rest of your day.
You too, dude.
All right, and with that, we will wrap things up. So we will be back, obviously, next week in beautiful Monza. As you can see with our calendar here, we will be in Monza for round 6 in Italy on April 30th at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. What is that? That's 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I don't know exactly what time that would constitute as in Harry Potter land over in Europe, so I'm very sorry for that. But it's like 6-ish hours, I think. So 6, about midnight-ish if you're over there. But thanks for coming on by, everybody. We will be back again next week. And we will hopefully see you guys there with us as we enjoy another beautiful day around Monza. Whether it's raining or not, it's always going to be fun. So hopefully we'll see you then. Have yourselves a great one, and we will see you next time. Later!